Hello, my name is Catherine Weathersby, and I want to welcome you to Small Business Saturdays. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I am talking about, do you need a website for your business? And welcome to Small Business Saturdays. I have a couple of special guests today. I have Michael D. from British Columbia, Canada, and I also have with me today George Herrera, and he is also a Houstonian. So I want to welcome you gentlemen into the Small Business Saturdays Blab today. And I want to discuss websites. So I know that Michael has a website, and George, I'm not sure about you, but we're going to get into 10 reasons why you should have a website. And so we're going to talk we're going to talk about why websites are important and how they help your business generate. We're going to go over a few points, and then I'm going to discuss them, and I'm going to ask you what you think about it, and then we're going to go from there. So reason number one, your website is an online brochure, and it informs people about what you have to offer, be that services or products. And I want to ask both of you, what do you feel that the purpose or the importance is of having a website? And we'll start with Michael.
Without the website, you are virtually dead. No pun intended. A website is a vehicle that lets people know who you are, what you have to offer, and how much you're selling it for. It also allows e-commerce to take place. That's about all I have to say about a website.
Very good. Yes, it's very important, and it's important because it really helps people to locate you because you have a URL. So it's so important for for everyone to have a presence online. George, do you want to chime in and tell us why it's important to you to have a website? Welcome to the room, Latanya. George, can you hear me?
Yes, Catherine.
Okay, good. Do you want to chime in and why you need a website in business?
Well, I've been around computers for a long time. I'm about 61. So I remember starting to play with computers since about 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had a website since the 90s, because in reality, I guess back in 1980, the internet was probably in its infancy, so I don't think many people had websites. And I do have a website nowadays, and it is bilingual, English and Spanish. I am a passionate promoter of the infinite banking concept and sound money. So I do have a message, and this website helps me a lot to put out the message, but I don't limit myself to the website. I post a lot on internet, in Twitter, in Facebook, LinkedIn, because my message, I believe, is very important. We
Yeah.
are living in a world where money is a thing of the mind, because the money that we're using has absolutely no value since August 15, 1971. So the whole system works only because we accept it. But it could crumble down as soon as somebody with a little bit of influence challenge it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? That is so true. Because we don't always. So I know when I was moving to Houston, I had some family pictures, and I said that I would, scan them, put them on Facebook, and then I would get rid of the physical pictures. And a gentleman who was helping me to move, he said, no, you need to keep your physical pictures, because what if something were to happen to Facebook? What would you do? You would no longer have access to those pictures. You would no longer be able to, claim control of those pictures. So he said, I advise you to keep the physical, pictures, to keep the actual, the originals. And I thought about that, and I said, that is so true. Once you give someone authority over your pictures or your content, that you'll ever be able to reclaim that. So what you're saying is true. And it leads me into point 2. The second reason that you would want to have a website, and when I say website, I'm saying website or blog, and they're interchangeable as far as I am concerned, because content is generated through a blog, okay? And so you can have pages that are static, and static means that the information never changes. But a blog allows you to add fresh content all the time. So the second reason that you need a website or /blog is because you want to generate more customers. There are 3 billion people currently on the web, and 90% of those who are on the web have purchased something from a company that is online in the last 12 months. So if you think about that, I mean, that is like, that's huge. 3 billion people, 90% of those have purchased something online in the last 12 months. So when you look at that, you see the enormity of the web and the influence that it has had on people and their lifestyles. So, like people now, they purchase diapers and all kinds of products for their family from Amazon. Amazon has a pack that you can go online and order each month. And in doing so, you will receive these products monthly. So it's like you staples. You got to have paper towels. You got to have certain items each month. And by by them offering this, keeping a constant flow of customers coming to their website to buy these products monthly, because they go into the marketplace. And so it's a convenience thing. People will pay more if it's convenient for them to go out and to not have to go out and purchase things that they use all the time. When they can purchase those things online, that's a convenience. So yeah, you definitely need to be online. You need to be on the web in order to capture sales from people who are looking for what you have to offer. The third reason is there's a perceived value. And if you're not online, people won't take your business as seriously. Before we continue, can we hit the little bird and get more people into the room? Can everyone tell the little bird on the left-hand side and send it out to your networks so we can get more people to understand why they need a website, or maybe why they need to update the website that they currently have. Okay. So reason 3, I'm going to repeat what I said, is that it's a perceived value. When you're in business and if you don't have a website, people are going to think of you, you know, a little like you're not serious. You're not really in business to make money. It's more of a hobby. So it's important to have a website for value. The 4th reason you need one is because when you have a website / blog, you do have influence in the marketplace. So having a website will put you in contact with potentially thousands of searchers who are going into Google, Bing, and Yahoo and are looking for your products or services. And if you guys want to come in at some point and, you know, make a comment about that, please do. You're able to influence people's decisions and educate them. So that's why it's important to have content, so that you are putting forth information that will help people to understand your niche, your product, or your service, and give them, you know, more intricate information, more detailed information about how they can use your product or service, why they need it, how it solves their problem, and the list goes on. So you want to give them intricate details about your product or service. Now I'm going to tell you a little story. Last Saturday, Michael Haynes came into the Blab, and we were talking about lead generation. And when he came on, he mentioned that he needed to find out how to get more leads. And so, George, what happened was I told him that I would schedule a discovery call with him. And at some point, I reached out to him because I asked him to go to my blog and get more information about lead generation. And at some point, I reached out to him on his website. So imagine if he hadn't had a website. I was able to go to his website, reach out to him, and as a result, he and I had a discovery call this week. And after we had the discovery call, he said, Catherine, I want to go forth and I want to sit down and I want to meet with you. So we had a coaching call, and we had an hour-long coaching call. And I sat down and I wrote a marketing plan for him prior to our coaching call. And Michael, you want to explain what happened as a result of our coaching call?
It was incredible. Catherine, I cannot be any happier if I were to fly to the moon. It was incredible. You delivered on your promise. In fact, I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning after going over the...
He said, he told me he went to bed at 2 a.m. because it was so much information that he was able to go into as a result.
And at the moment, I'm having some work on my website, so I'm not able to implement all of the suggestions at the moment, but I fully intend to go through my go to my email list that I have built up and email out to all my contacts, and they're going to be busy for next week. As soon as I get my website rebuilt, and I'm going to be emailing all of my contacts about my rebuilt website. So thank you a millions.
Thank you very much. So he is a speaker, And what Mike does is he goes into companies and businesses and he tells them about how to treat people with disabilities. And he explains to them that people with disabilities, it doesn't mean that they don't understand. It doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that, that you should treat them any differently than you would the next person. And so he has done quite a few speeches. And what he reached out to me was to find out how he could find other businesses and organizations that he could speak for. And he goes in and he explains to them exactly what it feels like to have a disability. And he uses his website to educate people. And he has some really impressive testimonials from HBSC, I believe. And there are other major companies that he has spoken with. So what I did was I gave him a list of organizations, both in Canada and the US, that he can go forth. So he's rebuilding his website. And let me tell you, he did his first one and he did an excellent job. And he's rebuilding this website. And so it all ties into what we're talking about today in terms of why you need a website and why it's important. So once again, I said reason number 4. And Michael, thank you. Thank you so much for, he wrote a LinkedIn recommendation for me that I got last night. I was pleasantly surprised. And I was so happy, and I have added it to my LinkedIn profile. So it's important to know when you come in contact with people, never judge, and he says this, the outer person. You have to get to know the person and you have to get to understand who they are and what their needs are. And so, George, that's why, as you stated, it's so important to have a website because you really want to be found. You really want people to get access to your business and you want them to get the vital information that you offer in order to educate them, and to have some influence with them. Because people, when you influence them and you give them the real deal, the real facts, they will do business with you. They will trust you. And so being here on Blab, it also helps you to, for them to get to know, like, and trust you. So, George, did you want to add anything to that? And what type of business do you have, George?
Well, first of all, I want to say that Michael's experience, it is remarkable and inspiring. I have been with Toastmasters since 2009, and I still to get my first speaking job for a company, and I believe I have a tremendous message. And well, a website or a blog is of utmost importance for you to be able to convey your message. And you were asking what type of business I am in. I am in the business of educating people about sound money and also a platform that allows them to control their money. Because since 1913, and actually prior to that, the banksters, that's how I call them, they were working to take control of the money of the people in the US. And at this moment, central banks and the principal of them, the Federal Reserve, they do control the money of the world. And that should not be like that. We should be able to control our money at our level, the level of you and me, because the financing part of our lives determines if we can grow or not. And if that financing issue or financing part is on the hands of others, then they do control our growth, and they have done an awful job of cheating the world, because they've been doing immoral and fraudulent things with the world. And the banks, they take advantage of people. They are allowed to create money out of thin air, and the Federal Reserve of central banks are the banks of last resort for them. And that's what help them to continue this abusive job that they are doing. For example, they created derivatives. Derivatives is paper assets that they are based on debt, and there is really nothing backing those, and there are like a quadrillion amount of derivatives, and all that stuff is benefiting the banks and the central banks, and it really do not have any backup. And the whole system that is built is unsustainable. It will crash down, and a lot of people would get hurt. So we do need to come back to sound money. We need to be able to have a money system that has a value, so they cannot continue inflating the economy of the world with money that has no value, because this money robs our purchase power. This money makes things around us more expensive every day. And their target of inflation that the central banks look for or use as a benchmark should not be, because inflation does not mean progress. Technology allows for things to go down in price. The more they can build of something, and the cheaper it gets. So there's nothing wrong with getting stuff cheaper tomorrow than it is today. And unfortunately, the central banks and governments believe that there has to be inflation, and that things costing more tomorrow means progress. That's not true. And unfortunately, most of the people of the world live based on a salary, and salaries do not go up in value, so they cannot buy more of the stuff that keeps going up in value.
Okay.
That's why we benefit from things going down in price, because that will help us to buy more of that stuff. And technology and the availability or the possibility of building stuff in mass quantities, that is what allows to reduce price on things, and it's nothing wrong with that, and that helps people. But governments and banks,
Okay.
they put they put a benchmark that there is a need for inflation, and that is not true. That is only to help Wall Street and themselves.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So you said that you are in a business where you help people with, you said, education of finances. Is that what, am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, that's a big part
Okay,
of
and
my
what is
business.
your business? What is your business?
Well, I am a passionate promoter of the infinite banking concept and sound money. Now, the infinite banking concept is a process of banking that
Okay, do
uses
you,
a specially designed whole life insurance for people to manage their money.
okay, let me interrupt you right there. Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. It's
Okay,
called,
can you type it for me in the chat?
let me type something. Okay, HTTP.
And Michael, is your website ready yet? If your website is ready, it's not. No. Okay. So when your website is ready, I'm going to have you come back, and then you can put it in the chat for us. And then I'm going to continue on with the with some of the steps that we were discussing about the website. So reason number 4 was influence. You want your website to potentially have influence on people who are visiting in terms of their decision making and to educate them. I'm going to go to reason 5, to show off. You can show off what you do. And that's why I just asked George if he would type his website into the chat. And I don't see it. Let me see.
Well, it should be at the bottom
George, I
there.
don't see it. Did you?
Is that
Let me see.
I don't go by George on Twitter. My handle is IBQuser, which is Infinite Banking Concept User.
Okay, so did you type your website into the chat?
I did.
Okay, I don't see it. Did you hit enter?
I got it.
You see it, Michael?
Yeah, it's at the bottom of that.
Okay,
the,
mine must be frozen.
The right
I see.
side, the right side
Okay,
string of
Okay, mine is
participants.
frozen. Okay, I'll take a look at it sometime today. So now I'm going to go into the 6th reason you need to help your business set, with goals. So by creating a website, you are mentally putting information out there, and it makes you rethink your business. It makes you rethink things that you might have done 10, 12 years ago that you're no longer doing. So it helps you to revisit some of the things about your business that you haven't in years, and it makes you relook at that, and you may need to update information. You may need to update practices, and there's different goals that you can, create and meet because you are basically rethinking your business. So it helps you to rethink maybe some of your strategy, maybe some of the things that you're doing in terms of marketing. So that's why it's good to have a website. Reason number 7 is because, you can start a business real inexpensively if it's web-based. I mean, it's cheaper than buying a bricks and mortar building. And, someone has to be there. You have to have employees, possibly, maybe just yourself, but your time. So you have to make sure you open and close your business and that someone's there and, you have to interact. Well, website is inexpensive. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to have a building. You don't have to have employees unless you choose to. So, that is a good reason to have a website because you can start a low budget business and you can get it started very quickly. Reason number 8 goes into the same thing. It's 24/7. You don't have to have supervision, where your website is available 24 hours a day. You can, people can come and go. They can go in, see what they need. If they want to buy something, they can go right in and buy it. And it makes it real simple. Reason number 9 is because you can communicate with your customers. And like I said, website, blog. For me, and I don't know about you guys, but blogging is so important, because if you're using SEO and using the index of Google, Bing, and Yahoo, you want your information to reach your target audience. And so keywords are necessary in order for your articles and your content to reach the particular niche audience that you're seeking. So you definitely want to be able to communicate, and your website allows you to do that. Also on your website, you definitely want to have a contact form. And I know, Michael, on your website, you have a contact form. And George, when I look at yours, I'm sure you have a contact page or something there that has information where people can reach out to you in real time. Do you have a contact form on your website, George?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So, people are getting really creative with those as well. I mean, I've seen some way out contact forms, but you want it to be, where people can access it very easily. Mine's a pop-up, but you want to consider this too when you're using mobile. Having a mobile optimized site is important. And the reason it's important is because you want people not to have to scroll across their smartphone or their Android or whatever they're using when they're looking at your website. So you want it to be concise. You want it to have the right information, and you want it to be in a context where it's easily accessible and they can get to, what they're looking for right away. So you want to have it set up whereas people can get the information they need and keep moving, and be able to contact you if need be. Okay, so marketing. Yes, Michael?
Also, a large number of people are on the go, and people are on the go with smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to lag behind.
Mm-hmm.
And if your website is optimized for a phone, you definitely have a leg up in that market.
True. You definitely want people to be able to access you, your information, contact you, find out who you are, what your testimonials look like. Just give them all the pertinent information about what it is that you do. So if it's a product, you want to have, pricing there, possibly e-commerce site. There's so many type of websites that you can offer to your core audience. If you sell, services, then you want to have information there where they can access your services. And so, there's a variation of types of websites that you can offer. And how you can do that is by sitting down, and if you have to get someone to do it, with you as far as a coach or a marketer, and sit down and explain to them what it is that you want to offer, and then have them tell you the best way to set that up or to, execute it. You want to be able to do it in the best way possible, and it has to be user-friendly. If it's not user-friendly, then, no one's going to really, you're going to have a high bounce rate. If you go into a metrics tool like Google Analytics, you can connect it to your website. And I don't know if either of you are using Google Analytics, but it's a good tool to show you exactly what pages are getting the most views, where your visitors are landing when they come into your site, how many minutes they're spending on that particular page of your website, the type of information that they're gleaning from that site, and where are they going on your website from that page? Are they just totally leaving your website altogether? Are they looking for other related information on your website? So it's good to tell you in real time, and also give you an idea of what visitors are searching for when they come in. Because basically, if I think you have like 4 seconds, and if they don't find out the information that they're looking for in those 4 seconds, they totally leave, and you probably never will get them back. So I have a question for George. George,
Yes.
do you have information on everyone who visits your website?
For
Daily.
everyone?
Do you have information?
Yeah, I have videos and articles, and also my website has got a link to
Okay.
Twitter. So when I tweet or post some things, it comes down into my website.
Okay. But what I'm asking is, when people come into your site, do you have a list of every single person who visits your website?
No.
There would
The
really be no way of
The ones that
knowing that,
the ones
would
that
it?
decide to leave any comments,
No.
I do, but not every single person that goes in there. No.
No. So today I'm going to tell you how to track every single person that comes to your website. I'm typing right now, and as soon as I get done typing this, we're going to can do that, just that. And Michael knows, because I put it in his marketing plan, and he knows how you can track every single person that comes to your website. There is a way to do it, George. So I'm going to.
Well, I love homework.
Okay. So the way that you tell, George, the way that you can track every single person that comes into your website is you need to, what type of platform do you use, George? Are you using WordPress or?
WordPress, yes.
WordPress. Okay. So WordPress is what I use as well. And it's also what Michael uses. So if you want to know every person, and this is my hot tip for today, that comes into your website, what you would need to do is you would need to go into Facebook. And I definitely, you would want to take notes on this. And you're going to get something called a tracking pixel, Pixel. And you're going to take that tracking pixel and you're going to put it in a plugin for a tracking pixel. So you probably have to go in, and I will have, if you sign into my website at catherineweathersby.com, put your email information in and your name at the top, very top of my site. I will send you the instructions on how to do this. So you go in and you get the pixel. You take that pixel and you put it in that plugin on your WordPress site. And what happens is Facebook will come back and tell you when the pixel is actually active. You will get a message from Facebook within your Facebook personal profile. And it will tell you that the pixel is active in WordPress. And once that happens, now Facebook is tracking every visitor to your website 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. Exactly. And once that happens, I would give it, if you're getting, say if you're getting, your website gets, say, 50 to 100 visitors per day. Okay, so you add that up over 7 days. I'm talking about every single person that comes to your site. and they're interested in something, it may not be the product for them, but it's maybe in an area they're interested in, or maybe they're not ready to do something with it now. Maybe they'll come back in 6 months. But whatever the case, what happens is when you get ready to run a Facebook ad, you now have an interested list of people that have visited your website, and you can use those individuals to target your ad to. So what happens in the Power Editor, and I don't want to get real technical because there's some training on my website that speaks to this very, tracking mechanism. What happens is they go to your site, you run your ad, say you wait 30 to 60 days to run your ad. Now you can target those people who visited your website. And what's going to happen is your ad is going to follow them all over the internet. So, just like you go to Amazon and you look for something, and the next thing you know, you're on Facebook and you look on the side and the product that you look for on Amazon is there. And then you go over to another e-commerce site like Walmart or Target or any Macy's, and everywhere you go, you keep seeing this product that you looked at on Amazon. It's following you all over the net. Well, that's what you're able to do. You're able to use that tracking pixel and that information when you run that ad, and then your ad, whatever it's for, will follow them on every e-commerce site that they visit. And the likelihood of them coming into your website, coming back and purchasing that item from you or whatever your offer is higher, because they are seeing you over and over and over again. So it's a branding technique. It helps with increased conversions. And the conversion doesn't have to be a paid product. It could be a PDF, a draft, whatever it is that you want to give to them. That pixel will allow you to basically track them all over the web. And the training for creating, and it's called newsfeed ads. If you click on the information at the bottom of the article or with it or throughout the article, you can then get the training. There's 100 videos. There's 10,000 ads, examples that are listed within the training that you can watch and you can duplicate. Now, I'm gonna give you another quick tip, George, and then I'm gonna listen to what you're saying. The second is to create the newsfeed ads for your Facebook advertising. You can use PowerPoint to make your creative. So when you're designing the ad, you can use a PowerPoint slide to create the ad. The training is very good. I've taken it, I purchased the course, and I have the course for sale on my blog website. You can click and it will give you the information on how to get it, and trust me, it's worth it. I took the class and I know the person personally that did the that created the training. He is excellent. I've sold t-shirts. I've done real estate open houses with Facebook ads. After I received his training, I've been successful in creating newsfeed ads for Facebook. So I want to encourage you to invest in yourself and to get the Facebook training, because it will show you exactly step by step how to create an ad using PowerPoint and how to track individuals coming to your website. So then you have a targeted group of people. You have a targeted group of people to work with. So that's my hot tip for today. Whereas you can, get people who are coming to your website as customers and monetize quickly. You don't want to be, 6 months building a relationship with people. You want to get people to, go ahead and make a decision and then to take action. So George, you were going to say something.
Thank you, Catherine. Great
You're
tips. Great tips. I took notes, and I'm going to check on that. So your website is Catherine Weathers.
Yes, CatherineWeathersby.com.
.com. Okay, I'll
Yes.
check on your website too. Well, let me tell you, I was not prepared to get into this blog because I didn't have a headset with me. I had to go and pick it up from another computer. I just came from doing exercise and walking my dog, so I didn't know if I had even my if I was a little bit presentable. So I was not really my intention at all to join the blog, but I made one of those decisions that actually turned out to be a real good one, because with the little bit that you offer there, you really offered a couple of great points. So I'm going to check on that. And I was going to say that I had to leave because I really wasn't prepared to join, and I didn't have the time either. But it's good that I stayed and I took your tips. And I guess we'll keep in touch. I will check on your blog for next time and join to it a little bit more prepared.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today. I appreciate you and Michael stopping by today. And guess what? We're right on the hour mark in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up. If you want to follow me, please follow me at You Are My Client on Twitter. If you want to follow my blog and get more information about the things that we discussed today, you can go to Catherine, that's Kathryn, Weathersby, WeatherSby.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group about lead generation. And when you go to my blog, you can click on the banner and you will see how you can join my Facebook group. And we welcome you to come in and get more information. And I want to thank everyone for participating today. Michael, it was a pleasure meeting you and a pleasure working with you. And I look forward to our next coaching session. George, do not hesitate to contact me for more coaching and more tips. And I look forward to seeing you both next Saturday on Small Business Saturdays. Thank you for joining me. Have a great and a prosperous week. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. It was a good.